Oh my gosh, is this Peter Pan? Is it Robin Hood, Men in Tights? I don't know, dude. This guy's got a very floppy feel to him. Let's take a look at this. Sweet tutor in the command zone, brother. Alright, now listen, I'm going to talk some rules here. We're going to get a bit technical, dude. If you're an advanced player, cool. Maybe you learned something new. If you're new, maybe you gain a better understanding of how to play this stupid game that we all love so much. I don't know who you are. It's like people will go in the comments and are like, I already knew this, dude. You should know that. You should know what's inside my head. I don't know who you are and I don't know what you're doing, dude. And I probably don't want to know. I never met you. So I have no idea what rules level you have attained in your magic journey. Let's talk a little bit about adventures. If you want to read the comprehensive rules, it's rule 715 you need to be concerned with. I read through them and I can't find anything that's too nefarious, dude. Basically, adventure cards work like you think they do. I'm not reading all this to you, but if you're interested, pause the video, make a protein shake and read it, brother. So it does bring up an interesting point of discussion, adventure cards in the command zone. The color identity of a card is the color or colors of any mana symbols in that card's mana cost or rules text, plus any colors defined by its characteristic defining abilities. See Rule 604.3, or color indicator, see Rule 204. In the case of Kellen, he has the adventure box that has white in its casting cost and red in his own casting cost. So listen, man, when casting either side from the command zone, you need to add the relevant commander tax as well. If you cast an attached adventure, you're casting your commander from the command zone. Its commanderness is tied to the actual card. Being a commander is not a characteristic, alright? It's a property of the card and tied directly to the physical card itself. As such, commanderness cannot be copied or overwritten by continuous effects. The card retains its commanderness through any status changes and is still a commander even when controlled by another player. Basically, if you're casting Birthright Boon, which is the adventure portion of Kellan the card, as part of the resolution you put Kellan into exile. Cast the creature later from exile, that's what the text on adventure says, buddy, I'm not making it up. Obeying all timing restrictions, right? You aren't casting him from the command zone, so no commander tax applies if you're casting him from exile after you cast the adventure portion. You may put your commander back in the command zone as per this rule. If a commander is in a graveyard or in exile and that card was put into that zone since the last time state-based actions were checked, its owner may put it in the command zone. If a commander would be put into its owner's hand or library from anywhere, its owner may put it into the command zone instead. This replacement effect may apply more than once to the same event. So when you resolve an adventure spell, your commander goes into exile, right? Kellen's going to go into exile if you cast Birthright Boon from the command zone. You may choose to put him in the command zone instead, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, unless you just want to cast the adventure portion again from the command zone while paying the applicable commander tax. Alright, so you cast Kellen from exile after he goes to exile, right? He does some stuff, he flops around with his sword, he does a couple pirouettes, he attacks your opponents. Then guess what, dude? He eats his swords to plowshares right to the dome. Alright, pop him into the command zone, you know what I'm saying? If you want to cast the Birthright Boon again from the command zone, sure, go nuts. But you're going to be casting your commander from the command zone and thusly must pay a commander tax, and you have to obey all your timing restrictions, nothing outside the ordinary there. Again, the commanderness is tied to the card itself. So let's take a look at Kellan. He's got 3 unique art treatments too, because of course every card needs a bunch of versions for no discernible reason whatsoever. That's just an unwritten rule of magic. Alright, we got Kellan the Fae Blooded, 2 and a red for a legendary creature, human fairy. It's a 2/2 with double strike. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellan the Fae Blooded, dude. He also has Birthright Boon. This is the adventure. 1 and a white for a sorcery adventure. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. This guy, look at him, man. He's just a flame master, brother. He's got a flame sword and he's got a flame whip. I don't have either one of those things and I'm not Fae Blooded, dude. He's jumping around, he's doing gymnastics, he's slapping people upside their dome with a whip. He's a little guy. He's got small hands, he's got tiny features. He's just a little guy. Now, Birthright Boon is just open the armory in the command zone. At first glance, this is a rather limited tutor. It's flavorful as well. He's on an adventure to find that ultimate flamey whip, dude, or whatever toolbox you need. So listen, man, cast the adventure and you can get Hammer of Nazan. Sweet, brother. That card just got a reprint and is an absurd $4.19 right now. Fantastic card in an equipment-focused commander deck. It's 4 generic mana for a legendary artifact equipment. When it or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has indestructible, has equipped for 4, dude. Or another equipment. That's a part of this card that people often sleep on. If another equipment enters the battlefield, it just magnets onto whatever creature you got out there. But listen, there's another direction you can take a deck like this, and for both Birthright, Boon, and Open the Armory, you can also nab Auras, dude. Auras is a semi-powerful archetype on its own, and white has some real bangers. See my Light Paws deck tag, dude. I'm going to put a little link up here. There are plenty of enablers if you want to go that direction, though I think that's powerful strictly because of Light Paws. Equipment gets more support in Boros. In Boros, you also have things like Steel Shaper's Gift, 1 white mana for a sorcery, search your library for an equipment card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. This is a more limited tutor, but can get whatever you want as far as equipment goes, dude. It was recently reprinted in Commander Masters, which is also $4 right now. If you can get Swiftfoot Boots and Hammer and Azan on your double striking commander, you're going to have a hard time removing it. The only thing that gets a commander suited up like that is Mass Exile, something like Farewell, or Mass Bounce like Cyclonic Rift. Also, remember, Equip is a targeted ability, so if you're running Shroud, cards like Lightning Greaves, you may want to reconsider that if you're planning on putting auras or equipment onto the creature wearing the Greaves. Now listen, man, there's so much equipment support in Boros color, so many legendary creatures that deal with equipment in red, white, or some combination thereof, that making a deck is extraordinarily easy if you want to make it around equipment. You want support creatures like Brunor, Battlehammer, you want draw creatures like Sram and Akiri, Fearless Voyager, and threats like our commander in Balin, Wandering Knight. It's kind of a well-worn archetype with some newer cards like Forge Anew, 2 and a white for an enchantment. When Forge Anew enters the battlefield, return target equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. As long as it's your turn, you may activate equip abilities anytime you could cast an instant, and you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate during each of your turns. This does a lot in an equipment deck. If you mill, discard, or otherwise fill your graveyard with an equipment, then that's just icing on the cake. The real meat is in the last 2 abilities. It's kind of similar to Sigarda's Aid. Sigarda's Aid is way better, dude. It's cheaper and more efficient, but a redundant effect is pretty nice. In any case, man, Forge Anew is worth a look, and it's only a couple bucks. And fresh out of Lord of the Rings, you got the Mithril Coat, 3 generic mana for a legendary artifact equipment with flash and indestructible. When this thing enters the battlefield, attach it to target legendary creature you control. Equipped creature has indestructible, has equipped for 3. This has climbed to about $10 currently. I picked one up for $4 or $5 when this set was first coming out, dude. I hate this art, man. What's up with just the open mouth, dude? If you look at the rest of the art, it kind of shows his face a little bit. It's like all those YouTube thumbnails, you know what I mean? Like you go to click on something, it's just a dude with his mouth open. What are you doing, dude? Close your mouth. You're going to have a fly in there. Anyways, this is a great protection piece in an equipment deck. This guy looks like James Charles a little bit. So what recommends Kellen over the plethora of other commanders in this crowded design space? You know, Boros equipment's kind of crowded up over the past couple years. Well, you have a consistent play pattern, basically. Turn 2, you tutor up Hammer and Azan. Turn 3, you have Kellen in exile, you may as well slap him out onto the battlefield. Then you're off to the races, dude. Turn 4, you're swinging in with a 4-2 with Indestructible with native double strike. It's a pretty fast deck. Somebody's going to have to respond to that pretty quick. Uh-oh, man. Turn 5, somebody's going down. Just stack equipment, and there's a real threat there. And listen, man, I don't think it'll be any more powerful than any of the other Boros equipment commanders, but it's kind of cool to see this tutor in the command zone. It's the first thing I kind of seized on. Despite me making fun of the Flaming Blades, dude, I definitely dig this guy. So let me know what you think, my brothers. Once again, big thanks to EDH Deck Building. Demo, the host over there, shouted me out on his channel, and that's an amazing thing one bro does for another. He's got huge reach, man. He's got like 50,000 subscribers. So I got a big bump from him, dude. Very humble, very generous dude. It's fun to see what people say in the comments too. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, I'll check it out after this video. It's like, and then they comment, oh, I checked it out, dude. I hate you. You're terrible. It's like, all right, well, thanks for letting me know. You know, people on the internet are not shy about that. Anyways, man, be kind to each other. Snicky G from Better Commander signing off.